15.
Hello, it was only on Saturday night that I was standing in the wings there, less nervous than I am now. Thank you for your wonderful story, Tim, and mine is much more provincial in relation to it. Oh, fresh. They were all in theatre together, so hey. I'm going to talk to you about being an actor, really, and I'm going to talk to you about a question that people often ask actors, and it's not how do you learn those lines, because there's nothing fascinating about the answer to that question. It's just slogging, really. There's no magic to that at all. It's just rather boring and sitting at the kitchen table, perhaps with a glass of wine, just getting on with it, really. But a question that people often ask me is, when did you know you wanted to be an actor? And I feel very fortunate that I knew as a very little girl that I wanted to be an actor, and I suppose this opens up a question about nature and versus nurture. And maybe the answer will lie in my story. Oh, the other thing is I know I want to be an actor because I normally like hiding behind other people's words, and I certainly know now that I like being an actor compared to being a public speaker. You're going to know in a minute, Kate. My parents are from Liverpool. Don't think many people know that. And my dad is a farmer. He's a retired farmer. And they grew up in Liverpool. I wasn't born in Liverpool. My sister was born in Liverpool. But occasionally, when I'm feeling slightly inebriated, I might become scouse occasionally. And my husband quite rightly tells me, actually, Kate, you weren't ever born in Liverpool, and let's have enough of that. And when I was actually born in Cirencester, and my dad was the farm manager of the Royal Agricultural College farm, so I was a farm girl, and I grew up on a farm. And feeding pigs, being chased by wild boars, and feeding lambs, and it was all rather pastoral and blissful. And then my father got an appointment to be a farm manager in a farm just outside Stratford-upon-Avon. And I was 4, my sister was 6. And on the day we arrived, my mother, Betty, was unpacking those old tea boxes. Remember when you used to move house, you'd have a tea chest. None of this kind of nice cardboard boxes and things from IKEA, but actually old-fashioned proper boxes. And I remember being in this enormous farmhouse, which we didn't own. We were tied accommodation. And I remember it vividly. And my mother was unpacking tea boxes. And she said to my dad, "Hey, John, we take the girls up into town. Just take them into Stratford, get them from under me feet, won't you?" And like that, she does talk like that still. And so my dad, John, piled us into our little Beetle, I think we had at that point, and drove the 3-mile journey from Barley, which is just outside Stratford near Henley and Arden, and drove into Stratford-upon-Avon on a wet afternoon, on a Saturday afternoon. And we parked, which was astonishing in itself, because trying to park in Stratford's impossible, isn't it? So we parked up, and we were feeding the ducks, as was my mother's wont. And my dad, who is not, though they're from Liverpool, and they are obviously terribly entertaining because they're from Liverpool, they're not theatrical types. My mum's a nurse, and my dad's a farm manager. And so we were feeding the ducks, my sister and I. And there, in the background, was the Memorial Theatre. And my father looked up at it and said, "Hey, girls, look, this is dead famous, this. It's really famous, this. It's a really amazing place, this Stratford-upon-Avon, you know. It's like, this is where Shakespeare wrote his play." Well, did he actually write them in there? No, he didn't. But you know, my dad was actually rather sweet and very romantic. So there was this big theatre. And it was probably getting up for, I don't know what time matinees were then, but maybe 2:15. It was way past the half anyway. And the audience were going in. And my dad, God love him, went to the box office, and the audience had already entered and gone in. And I don't know if you remember, the old box office in Stratford had the silver bars, the silver metal bars. And he went up, and I was practically a babe in arms. I was 4, and my sister was 6. It was 1978. And he said, hey, all right, what's going on? And she said, we're just starting the play, And it was a production, a very, very, very famous production of Taming of the Shrew by Michael Bogdanov with Paolo Diacinetti and Jonathan Pryce. And he said, oh, can we just go and have a look? Like they'd let you do that now. And she said, oh, give us a £5 and you can stand at the back for a bit. So we trundled in, and I remember the silver bar. I don't know if anyone else remembers that. Sorry, it's a rather cliquey story. Sorry, all of a sudden. There's a silver bar at the back, which all latecomers or standers could stand. And so he paid his £5, which probably for my dad was, an arm and a leg. And we sat up on the bar, and he waited. And the house lights remained on. Now, it was 1978, and it was probably, I don't know, it was probably the advent of slightly lefty kind of sort of productions and being sort of quite alternative and provocative and allowing that notion of the audience and the magic of it not just being a fourth wall removed and the lights down and da-da-da. So the lights remained on, and there was a kerfuffle just by us in the aisle. And Jonathan Pryce storms down the aisle as Christopher Sly. And Paola Diacinetti is down at the very front of the stage. And she's carrying an usher. She's dressed as an usherette. And she's got her ice creams, her loathly ice creams. And he storms down. And he gets up on the stage. And he pulls down the tabs, the beautiful red velvet curtains. And there's a kerfuffle, he's playing the drunk Christopher Sly. And she, sir, please get off the stage, And I remember some American tourists stood up and said, my God, get him off the stage, We have come from the United States of America, the RSC, what is going on? Oh my God. And it was really, and my father was like, what have I... Oh, no, this isn't going right. This is not as it should have been. And but both my sister, quite precociously, tugged at him and said, no, it's fine, it's part of the play, And we knew, and I certainly knew then that it was part of the play, and it was it was anarchic, it was exciting, but it was certainly nothing to be frightened of. And there the light bulb for Kate Fleetwood went off, because and of course the lights went down, and the magic continued and became more, as we know, as that fourth wall removed theatrical experience. But for that moment, that was the beat in my heart that started, and it was that I saw not people showing off or being famous or being extraordinary or being, look at me. It was the magic that is created in a space such as this, which is between the stage, or wherever the stage might be, like you say to him, but the magic between the audience and the relationship of the performer, wherever they might be. And it's sort of a magic air that is in the room, and you feel it when you're performing it, and you feel it when you're in an audience, and you can feel that sort of slightly magic sphere going on. Where am I? Yes. So the light bulb went off, and of course I then went on to do lots and lots of school plays and things and bits and bobs, but I was constantly tugging at my mum's arms. They weren't pushy parents at all, but I really want to be in proper plays. I really, really want to be in real proper plays. And so I was very fortunate in becoming a child actor at Stratford-upon-Avon, where I gave my mustard seed to the late, great Pete Postlethwaite's bottom. It's true. And another community piece that we did there. And it was there also that was galvanized for me, the notion of words, really, because as an actor, as a performer, particularly as a child performer, you're in a dressing room day in, day out, and all you can hear is the words on the tannoy, tannoy, again. And they become ingrained in you, those words, the words. And how am I doing? Oh, I've got 5 minutes. Oh, God. I'll sing you a bit of Les Mis. But no, I suppose the sense of the words being very important, still very important to me. And the other thing is about being an actor is that it's so physical being an actor, even just the actual sense, the speaking. And so again, I know when I wanted to be an actor, but I also know that I want to be an actor because I know what it feels like when I'm not an actor, and that's what physically hurts when I'm not doing it. But the postscript to this is that about 2 years ago, I was having Christmas with my parents. They still live near Stratford, and I was going on a walk. It was Christmas with my dad, and he said, "All right, Case," and yeah, Dad, all right. And he said, I never told you that, you know, that job I got in Stratford, being the farm manager then. I said, oh yeah, he said, I got another job actually. It was in Lincolnshire, and I chose to go to Stratford. But we could have ended up in Lincolnshire. And I'm absolutely not offending, hopefully, anyone from Lincolnshire. But I wonder what would have happened if we'd have gone to Lincolnshire. I certainly wouldn't have had that experience in Stratford. And I don't know whether being an actor is nature or nurture, but I think what I really know is that I don't think it's ever too early to take your children to the theatre, to have that kind of experience, and to be exposed to that great thing, which is the magic that's even happening now, I hope. And I'm going to leave it there, I know. But you went over, Tim, so it's all right. So I'm going to steal off you. Okay. So take your kids to the theatre.